Johnny, they were feeling low. Life's a grind, man, it was moving slow. Tired of the struggles, tired of the fight, they turned to the meat and it felt so right. With steaks on their plates and the grill fired up, they found a new rhythm and filled their cup. Joy started flowing, laughter's out of sight. Now they're living loud, embracing the night. Yeah, they went full carnivore and the joy has begun. Sickness and gloom like shadows they run. With every bite taken, they're feeling so great. Sharing their message, they just can't wait. So tune in, my friend, each Wednesday night. Join Real Talk with Brian and Johnny. What a sight. Oh, what a sight.
Good evening. It is Wednesday evening. We are back for another episode. Johnny, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, Brian. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. So I'm going to say hi to some people in the chat here. And
Sure.
I got to say, Linda is got the record. She said, hello, everyone. If a timestamp of 4:10 p.m. So almost 4 hours before the show started. That is dedication.
That's dedication.
Hello, Linda. Carnivore Jerry says hello. She's listening from work.
Hey, Jerry.
DC, Wisconsin. Hello.
Hey, DC.
Paul is here. Hello.
Hey, Paul.
And yes, Linda is still here, by the way. She's posted here. So
Cool.
she is still here. Great dedication. Rick is here from Miami, Florida, of course.
Hey, Rick, our good buddy.
Thomas, Target Prime Rib. Good
Hey,
to
Thomas.
see you.
Good to see you, buddy.
Bacon Runner.
Bacon
Good
Runner.
evening, Carnivore Nation, she says. Yes, yes.
Oh, yeah. Totally.
Carnivore Nation. All right. So if you want to say hi in the chat, go ahead and do so. Hit the like button. Share this with your friends. Anybody that you think would be helped by watching this, I guess. Topic tonight, we were going to talk about Carrie Mann's Healing Humanity documentary. He came out the other day saying that basically it's finished, it's edited and all that stuff, and it will be released here soon. It will be premiering, I believe, in his theater, the Monticello Theater in Wisconsin. So that's pretty cool. So we're going to talk a little bit about it today and other stuff too, but that'll be kind of like our main topic point that we're going to talk about. So yeah. Johnny, you want to get us started talking about the documentary?
Absolutely, Brian. I will. So full disclosure, how I found the carnivore diet, how I learned of this. I kind of had heard of it a little bit with Dr. Sean Baker originally, and I saw it on Joe Rogan a little bit. I heard about it, but I didn't put a lot of stock in it. Of course, I'd heard about keto, and I tried keto for probably close to a year prior to even doing carnivore, and I did the keto cookies, the keto pancakes, the keto muffins. So it was not keto. I mean, it said keto on all the packaging, but I was not doing a ketogenic diet. I probably was never in ketosis at all. I didn't measure my ketones, and it was an abysmal failure. So when I heard of carnivore with what's the doctor, the psychologist or whatever, his daughter's real big, Michaela Peterson, Dr. Jordan Peterson.
Yes.
Talking about this, I kind of brushed it off. And my wife and I, kind of during the pandemic, we started thinking about doing some homesteading. My wife had gone to the grocery store a few times, and the shelves were pretty empty here in the Charlotte area during the pandemic. And we thought it'd be cool to kind of grow some of our own food. So we got really involved in YouTube, watching homesteading videos, how people were becoming kind of more self-sustaining and doing all that. I ran across this video from this guy, Carrie, on this channel, Homestead How. So had Carrie not been a homesteader, I don't know that I ever would have found his channel. But I did find his channel, and he was doing his 90-day review, I think it was, and he was saying some pretty outlandish stuff. His snoring had gone away. He'd quit taking his prescription drugs. He was, sleeping better. His heart was doing better, and it sounded too good to be true. But I had been battling my weight for 30 years. I had plantar fasciitis so bad that I could barely walk, really bad lower back pain, arthritis. I had really, really bad sleep apnea, really high blood pressure. So this weird guy on this homestead video talking about this carnivore diet, this was towards the end of June 2023, I guess. And I told my wife that I was going to try this carnivore diet for 30 days starting July 1st. It was towards the end of the month, so it'd be a pretty easy start date, right? So I watched Kerry, and I watched his videos, and then I watched his interviews. There's one guy, Shaun White. You guys may know Intentional Carnivore, Shaun White. And his transformation was just amazing. So I continued with this thing, doing this carnivore diet. I was eating basically pulled pork because I had a bunch of it. I was just trying to clear my freezer full of that stuff. And I was eating that and drinking water. And pretty quickly, all my symptoms started getting better and going away. So I started putting a little more stock into what this guy, Kerry Mann, was saying. So I really got addicted to his channel. And then when he came out and announced he was doing a documentary, he and his daughter were out in their yard, and he said he wanted to make a documentary about the carnivore diet. I was all in. I bought in hook, line, and sinker. And if you guys remember, I think that once his channel started growing towards the carnivore direction, he did a 12-hour live stream, and I watched the whole thing. And then eventually they did a 24-hour live stream, which was kind of a fundraiser thing. And I watched the entire thing, and I thought that was amazing. Well, that's when we kind of got introduced to some of the stories that we know are in the documentary. Some of the people that had lost a lot of weight, were dealing with cancer, so forth. And so from then to now, I've been following it. And it seemed like this documentary was never going to come out, right? I mean, we're talking almost 3 years ago. And it just seemed like it was fizzling out. I didn't know what was going on with it. I know that Kerry, and he eventually enlisted the help of the film guy. Help me out here. I'm having a brain fart.
Adam.
Adam. And they were traveling over filming people. And I guess as a layperson, I didn't understand how long this process would take. Now, I knew they said they were going to follow some of their people for a year to see how the transformation went and how their journey was. And I kind of lost hope in it. But when I saw his video the other day talking about that the thing was finished, and he actually plugged the thumb drive at the theater, and he actually was able to watch the entire documentary on his screen, it just reignited that passion that I had when I first learned they were doing this documentary. So that's a long-winded answer, Brian, but I'm just very interested. I hope that this does well. I got to know Bill Knott a little bit, Anthony Hayduck, Todd Bachnes. I mean, I've got to interact with these people and got to consider some of them friends. So to see this documentary finally come into fruition, it's just got me pretty excited, and I wanted to talk about it tonight.
Okay. So you mentioned Kerry's channel at Homestead How, right? He also has an official channel for the documentary, and I'm going to put that up on the screen here. It's at Healing Humanity Movie. It doesn't have as many subscribers to it. It's like 15,000, I think, or something like that. But that's probably a good place to go to see like updates and so forth. Right. Now, Kerry hasn't said exactly when the documentary is going to come out. He said that that's going to be announced soon. So I'm looking forward to it. I think that the biggest thing that for me is I hope that people outside of the carnivore diet watch the film and come into it open-minded. My biggest fear would be that only people within carnivore actually watch it and other people don't watch it, because there are going to be some amazing stories in there. There's some great interviews from several different doctors and so forth. And you know, you didn't even talk about I can't remember his name now, Bill Knott from Alaska. I don't think you mentioned his name. He's going to be one of the people that he's one of the people that Kerry was talking about filming for basically a year, and he's going to be a big part of that, showing his transition. And I think it's just amazing what people have accomplished with the carnivore diet. And I really hope that people that have not thought about the carnivore diet before will actually watch this and come into it with an open mind.
I agree.
I see Paul says here, I think successful carnivores are a special breed. They got a certain grit and determination. You can start that, but not transfer it. So I do not think a film is going to do much. It'd be nice. And that's what I don't know. You know, that's why I say I hope that people will come into it with an open mind. I see. I probably should get on it as much as I do, but I'll get on Twitter or X, whatever it's called now, and look at stuff. And I see so many posts in there from people that just do not have an open mind to anything diet. They know what they've known, that they've been told for 20, 30, 40 years, and that's it. They won't even listen to you. And those are the people that are not going to watch this film. But I hope that there are people out there that will. Because it really is amazing the transformation that people have with carnivore.
Early on, when Kerry was putting this thing together, he talked to Dr. Robert Kiltz, and Dr. Robert Kiltz coined the phrase, "It's the documented stories." That's what's going to separate this documentary from some of the others, I believe. There are so many. I mean, yeah, you can say, well, that's just anecdotal. That's one person. That's one person. But when you start putting dozens and hundreds of people having very similar and sometimes very different symptoms, but the one commonality is they change what they put in their mouth. And the symptoms, whether it be autoimmune, the psychological symptoms, arthritis, sleep apnea, you start looking at all these things. I can tell you, right now that, I don't want to get too political here, but Robert F. Kennedy Jr., the Department of Health and Human Services director for our country right now, has been speaking a lot about, we turned the food pyramid upside down. We got grains was, prior to this was like the whole grains and bread. They wanted you to be the majority of your calories. Well, we now know, and the government now, says that that's wrong. That's bad information. And I think there's a yearning and a hunger, I hope, in the West, especially in America, Canada, different places, that people just want to live healthier lives. I, for one, and Brian, I know you did too, and most people watching this got sick and tired of being sick and tired, right? And hopefully, and maybe it's just me wanting to look through rose-colored glasses, but I'm going to do all I can on my other social media channels, in my community, at my job, in the hospital. I'm going to get little cards made up, Healing Humanity movie, and I'm going to hand them out to anybody that will take one, whether it be at the grocery store, shopping center, wherever. And I'm going to say, hey, just check this thing out. And if it comes to a theater near me, I'm going to try to get as many people to go as I can, because I don't think it's just the responsibility of the people that made this movie to try and help heal humanity. It's up to all of us to do all we can to try to make it successful. There are going to be people that are going to go watch this movie, the vegan crowd, the vegetarian crowd, the non-believers. They're going to go there to try to poo-poo it. And maybe, just maybe, a certain percentage of them will say, darn, that's kind of crazy that this lady that lives in Canada that's a rancher is 80-something years old and she has muscles and she can jump over a fence. There's this guy in Canada that's lost, 250 pounds. There's this guy that had cancer and was given just a few months to live, ended up living like 2 more years. There's this guy that had heart failure and now he's thriving. When I watched that documentary back in, I think it was June or July, Brian, it was called Animal. Dr. Chafee was on there. Dr. Berry was on there. Some of the others were on there, and it wasn't anything that Kerry did. It was a completely different project. And they had a few testimonies on there, 3 or 4 testimonials, but the vast majority of that video was the technical. It was the data. We eat this way and this is the benefit. This is why. This is what happens within the body. And if you're not into science, or if you're casually paying attention, you would turn away. You would get bored with it. But when you see real people, the emotional story of Bill Knott when he starts crying because he hadn't been outside of his house in 5 years, you see these people that are told they only have so long to live, or these people that have chronic diseases to where they're connected to oxygen, or they're wheelchair bound, and now they're thriving and they're running up and down stairs and running 5Ks. That to me is going to be hopefully compelling. But to your point, Brian, and to others like maybe Peter's point or Paul's point, I'm sorry. We got to get people in the theater. People have to see this message. We got to have buzz about it. We got to talk about it on our social media and try to promote it. Not trying to make the film a smashing success from a financial standpoint, but you guys remember what I do for a living. I take sick people from the hospital to hospice, or from the hospital to the nursing home. So this is visceral to me. This is real to me, because I see the result of the standard American diet and the sedentary lifestyle killing people. I see it every day of my life. And so that's why maybe I'm more passionate than some, because I want to see these people thrive and do well. And the only way to do it is to change what they eat and to start moving their body. And like myself, I couldn't move. I couldn't exercise. I couldn't do anything because I was in so much pain. I was so inflamed from my diet. It kept me from moving. Fix the diet, fix the movement, and now I feel great. My prayer is, my hope is, my dream is that this will reach, heck, if it only changes the life of 100,000 people, there's 330 million Americans. But if we can get 100,000 people to at least consider carnivore. I mean, think about it. There are people that went carnivore that were on YouTube every Friday and Sunday. They were on there 3 days a week. They had their own show. They had Carnivore Roundtable, and they fell off the diet. And they were, it seemed, as committed as any. So there's no guarantee, to Paul's point, there's no guarantees. People who are successful at this, kind of like myself, I've fallen and gotten back up, but I haven't quit yet, and I'm never going to quit. What we got to do is just get people into the theaters, get people talking about this, take a friend, take a family member, tell people about it, and just hope that it does what it's intended to do, which is to help to begin to heal humanity.
So I think marketing is going to be a key. And the good thing from what Carrie said, he's looking to get it streaming everywhere that he can, as many places as possible. That's going to be a key, because I think there's a lot of people that just don't go to the movie theaters anymore.
Right.
But marketing is going to be a big piece. I think, like you said, there are some great transformational stories, and we got to get people to watch it to be able to see those stories. They're not going to know they're there if they're not interested in watching, right? So I think part of the marketing has to be, okay, let's look at some of these stories. What kind of issues, health issues, do these people have before they go to carnivore? And we need to do different select marketing to people with those issues. So I'm just going to make this up because I haven't seen the documentary, so I don't know what's in it. But let's say that there is somebody that does a big, that I don't want to necessarily use the word curing, but improving type 2 diabetes so that they no longer have it. They're no longer on medication. Okay. It would be great to do some segmented marketing to people with type 2 diabetes about this and say, watch this. Like, there is a way to get off of your medications, lower your A1C and so forth. And you can watch this video and see what other people have done to do that, or not watch this video, watch this documentary. And I think that doing different types of marketing like that is going to be big. Another thing, love him or hate him, Joe Rogan. Carrie's got to get on Joe Rogan because he has millions of followers, millions of people that already know Joe Rogan at one point was doing carnivore. And now you throw something like this out there, they're more likely to potentially watch it, even if they're not doing carnivore or considering carnivore right now. So you got to get on Joe Rogan. So there's like some really big marketing that I think has to happen. And I don't know what kind of budget Carrie has for marketing, but I think that's how you're going to get people outside of carnivore to watch it, is you have to hit them where they're hurting. So look, people out there that have type 2 diabetes, I know it's a bad disease. You know what? There are people out there that have fixed it, and they're going to show you how in this documentary. Just different things like that. I think that's going to be key to really get this marketed very well.
Yeah.
I want to, I know I've missed a lot of comments here, but let's see. I missed actually quite a lot.
Sure.
Lance is here, so I want to say,
Lance.
he will up here. He said good evening. So hello to Lance. Coach Eden's Thank you for having me on your channel Monday. That was a great conversation, by the way. Peter's here.
Yeah, Peter.
I'm a carnivore. Let's see. Steadfast. Hello.
Hey, Steadfast.
Yeah, I this one gets me too. My mom and my brother, who is a physician, take Ozempic. My brother thinks it's a wonder drug. He brags about it. Yeah. That one always gets me. Let's see what DC Wisconsin says. I think it would be interesting to have a list of people and symptoms they no longer have after changing how they eat. I think that list would be amazingly ongoing. Yes, that's a good. John Golf 04H is here. Says carnivore is not protein only. It's all about good fat and the ratio. Also about observation and elimination by your own lab coat. Yeah.
Exactly. That's a great point, John, and welcome. Thanks for joining us. You make a great point. People sometimes want to confuse, especially people that are just kind of casual observers. Like my father, for example. I love my dad to death. He's a retired registered nurse. He's been in healthcare his whole life. He's actually a beef cattle farmer now. He's 83 years old. Well, he'll be 83 in June. And he's a beef cattle farmer. But he keeps saying, I can't do the carnivore diet because that much protein is bad for your kidneys. Because that's the dogma that he lived under his entire 40-something years in the medical community. And I said, Dad, you eat more protein than I do. He said, how is that possible? I said, because I concentrate on fats. I eat stable, healthy animal fats. They're very stable, So my dad probably to this day takes in more protein than I do. I take in a lot more fat than he does, and I take in no carbs normally. He takes in carbs. And my kidney function, and I'm sure there's people in the documentary that will have a similar story. I went from stage 3A kidney failure to normal kidney function in a year. The only thing that carnivore hasn't healed for me is my eyesight and my AFib. But as you guys know, if you watch Brian and I for a while, yes, I'm still in AFib. I'm in AFib right now, but I can run a 40-yard dash faster than most 58-year-old men in the country, probably in the world. And I can jump rope, do push-ups, everything. And the AFib doesn't bother me. I don't even realize I'm in AFib. My life is so much better. And that's attributed to, as John's saying here, the right ratios of protein and fat. It's just that dadgum simple. I almost cussed there. It's just that dadgum simple. That's the thing. Somebody talked about, I think Peter was talking about the Ozempic and these GLP-1s. They're coming up with GLP-1s in pill form. I don't know if you guys saw that. And the problem with that is you lose weight. Granted, you will lose weight on a GLP-1. There is absolutely no doubt. But what kind of weight are you losing? Muscle, bone, connective tissue. Anyway, and that's the frustrating thing. And that's where the hope for this documentary and other documentaries like this, the hope is that people will realize, I want to take a shortcut. I want to take a shortcut. I want to just take a pill or take a shot. Well, just eating bacon, eggs, and beef and butter, that's pretty much a shortcut too, right? I mean, that's not hard. It's cheaper. It's easier. There's less dishes to clean up. You spend 3 minutes in the grocery store. It is the shortcut. It's not a pill. It's not an injection. The only side effects are you get like me and you have so much energy, you can't stop talking. That's the only side effect I've ever seen from carnivore is I feel great. I sleep great. And I'm always in a happy mood, which sometimes makes my wife mad.
All right. I got a few more comments here that I selected that I want to go through. And my computer's doing the same thing it did a couple weeks ago. I selected these and I'm getting ready to talk about them. And all of a sudden, just out of nowhere, 21 new comments just popped up. So I'm probably falling behind on comments, but I'll try and get the key ones as I go. So Peter says, in response to DC Wisconsin's question about the list, right, of things, he says, I've reversed cured. And before I start, let me just say, I love reading these comments like this where people talk about all the things that they fixed. All right. So he says, I've reversed cured diabetes, high blood pressure, fatty liver, migraines, gout, acid reflux, arthritis, depression, anxiety, ADHD, and off all meds, 3 years, high fat carnivore. That is just great to hear.
Yep.
Bacon Runner says I had long-term
Neuralgia.
neuralgia.
Yeah,
Okay,
neuralgia.
as a result of shingles. It's gone now. It's the only major problem I had. That is great that is gone. Thomas agrees. It's the stories that'll help.
Yeah.
And Cynthia, by the way, is here. She said hello to us.
Cynthia.
Probably, who knows how long ago that was. That wasn't too
20
bad.
minutes
It was
ago.
like 8 minutes ago. I'm not that far
Yeah.
behind. All right. So let's see. Where else are we? Oh yeah, yes. I have been on Thomas's channel before too.
I
As
love
long as
Thomas.
people want to, I will be happy for people to tell their stories on my channel. And you can see it's at Target Prime Rib. So there you go. I got to share my story on a live stream with Thomas. It was a great time. I encourage everyone to take up on his offer and share your story with him.
And if you go to Thomas's channel, subscribe, like, comment, share. His channel is one of the more entertaining channels out there. Thomas, we love you, man. You are fantastic. Your content puts a smile on my face. It's always upbeat. I love the music you put behind it. Your testimony is as strong as anybody's. I mean, you have a testimony too. And we need people like you, Thomas, and people like all the rest of us to really, really, really help the masses realize that this isn't hard. This is attainable. This is possible. And we can use things like the documentary to promote that, and our own testimonials, that we can let people see the testimonials that are within the documentary, and then tell your own personal testimony. But anyway, long-winded. Go to Thomas's channel, subscribe. You will not regret it. You love him.
All right. Bacon Runner says I had pain and burning every day for 5.5 years, and then it gradually went away when I started Carnivore. So that's great. Coach Edens agrees about Joe Rogan. I definitely think that's a must. He can reach so many people on there. And again, Joe Rogan was doing Carnivore for a short time period. He's going to be sympathetic to the whole Carnivore idea, and people are probably going to remember he'd done Carnivore before, and now they're going to see this about documentary. I think it could be a really good thing. So to me that's a marketing must. Peter says I am living proof that you can dramatically improve your life, your health through Carnivore. I'm just asking, would YouTube allow this on YouTube? The documentary, I'm assuming he's saying?
Yeah,
I think they would. I wouldn't be surprised if after it's gone through whatever syndicated type of stuff between the theater and any streaming for revenue type stuff, that he would put it out here on YouTube. Carnivore Karen is here from Florida.
Hey, Karen.
Hello?
Brian, Sean Baker, Dr. Sean Baker has been on Rogan. I know he's been on once. I think he's actually been on twice. I wonder, I can shoot Carrie a mail or an email. Any of us could. Carrie's very open. I've communicated with him several times to try to see if Dr. Baker can be the liaison between himself and Joe Rogan. That would be amazing. Maybe have Dr. Baker or Dr. Barry go on with him. They're in the documentary as well.
You know what else I was just thinking? RFK Jr. is going to be on Joe Rogan sometime in the near future, because he accidentally, I think, mentioned it when so his was it his wife or girlfriend or something was on Joe Rogan, or somebody that knew him. I can't remember. Right. And they, while they were live on the air with Joe, they called him and he said, "Oh, Joe's there. Joe, I'm looking forward to our conversation coming up." So it sounds like he's going to be on the show pretty soon. Wouldn't it be cool? This is a guy that has admitted that he does Carnivore with fermented foods. Would it be cool to get him in the know about the documentary and maybe bringing it up through the power that he has right now with being the health secretary, right? He's doing all kinds of speeches and interviews and stuff. And that could be really cool if somehow the just the whole thing of the Healing Humanity documentary, somehow he knew about it and he could start talking about it, because I think that would bring a lot of people as well.
Yep.
That was a long way of saying that. I don't know. Sorry. Where am I at?
I know that Carrie interviewed Jordan Peterson's wife. Remember that? I don't know how long ago it was, but I think Carrie did have some interaction or interviewed Dr. Jordan Peterson's wife. And I know Jordan Peterson and I know he's friendly with Kennedy, and he's also friendly with Joe Rogan. So that'd be another avenue there.
Yeah. Yep. So John said his eyesight got better, so that's good. I've heard that from a lot of people. Like you've talked about, like with the floaters and so forth, right?
Yeah. I haven't had floaters in 2.5 years. Not the first time. It's been perfect.
My eyesight improved a lot on Carnivore 2, Peter says. And that was as of 8 minutes ago. And that's all that my computer is currently showing me. So probably in a couple more minutes, I'm going to get 10 minutes worth of comments showing up again. I don't know what's going on that it's doing this, but there's something weird going on here.
It's okay.
Oh, well. But yeah, so going back to the documentary, one thing I was thinking when I was talking about the whole thing with the marketing, there was a question I was going to ask you, and I got to try and go back and remember what the question was going to be, but it had to do with the marketing. So let me think about this for a second.
Well, while you do that, Brian, I'm gonna do something. Maybe this is what you were thinking of, but let's ask everybody in the comments, what do you guys think? And Brian, I'd like to get your opinion too. What would be the best avenue, do you think, to reach the most people? Would it be Netflix? Would it be other streaming services? Would it be in small theaters, like community theaters? Like we have a small theater here in Kannapolis where I live. It's called the Gem Theater. It's, they have one screen. It's very small, and they have discounted prices on tickets. And sometimes they do independent films there for 1 or 2 nights. Would that be an option? What do you guys think? What would be the best way for Carrie and Adam and the whole crew, all of them, because it is a team of people, to really get this out there? What do we think as a community would be? We go on Joe Rogan, but if you go on Joe Rogan, you have to tell people where to go to watch the video or to go to watch the documentary. What would be the best avenue, do you guys think, to get this out there, to get the broadest possible audience? Just put your comments, put your suggestions in the comments. What do you think? Is YouTube? I mean, YouTube, there are people on YouTube that get millions of views on their videos. Spotify, that would just be I guess that would just be the audio part. But what are some things that you guys think that would be a great way for Carrie and the team to try to get this to the masses? And then, like Brian said, we have to promote it, but we got to promote it. We got to promote people to go somewhere to watch this. So thoughts? Yeah.
I think YouTube is problematic because of the way the I can't even say that word. Algorithm. There we go. Algorithm. But how it works, right? So if you don't really watch stuff about the carnivore diet, your YouTube feed never shows you anything about the carnivore diet.
Great point.
People may not ever see anything about this documentary if they're not really into that or into healthy eating, that kind of stuff. So I don't know. That's an interesting one to me. I think Netflix has a pretty good hold worldwide. But I don't know that there is really one place that like everybody is at. There's plenty of people that don't use Netflix. There's plenty of people that don't use YouTube, like the younger generation, for instance. And again, the people that do, I just don't know that if they don't typically look at that type of content, that they're going to see it. And it's going to be the same thing. Like if you try to go to like TikTok or X or Instagram, if you don't typically look for that type of stuff, you're not going to get that in your feeds. So that's a really tough question. I'd like to hear what other people think. I don't know if just my computer stopped working or if this comments just stopped commenting, because there's been like no comments. There's like one that came in here for Rick, so maybe people stopped commenting. I don't know.
Yeah.
Hopefully we're still actually live and we're not just talking to ourselves.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah,
you were gone one day, Brian, and Rick filled in for you, and my computer, so that there was a malfunction with StreamYard, and me and Rick did a whole 2 hour and a half show, and nobody saw it. That did happen.
Gosh. That's crazy. But yeah, so I'm really torn on what would be the best place for people, because you can go on Joe Rogan, like you said, and you got to point them somewhere, but you can't just say go watch it on Netflix, because I don't know how many. Let's just throw out there a number. Let's say 5 million people watched that episode of Joe Rogan or listen to it, whatever. Mm-hmm. But what if only 20% of those people even have Netflix? Right. You're not getting the rest of the people, right? So I don't know. That's a good question. I have no idea. I think that's why you got it. Like Carrie said, you got to stream it as many places as you can, so it's available in several different places and not just one place. But then how do you market that? How do you talk about that, like on a show, and say it's available here, it's available there? I don't know. That's a good question.
But
maybe
what if
that is? No, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. I was going to say, what if I'm pulling up Carrie's channel right now. So I know that Carrie's channel itself, his Homestead How channel, has 368,000 subscribers. But let's say half of them, say 180,000 people that watch this stuff or whatever, blast it on the socials. They talk about it on a TikTok short. They do it on a reels from, hey, go to this place and watch this. I think as a community, we can really push through any ceiling, because of the algorithm. Like, yeah, you might not get a thing about the carnivore diet if you don't ever look at it on YouTube. But if all of us blast it on all of our other social medias, hey, check this out, and people start clicking on it, then it may, I don't want to say trick the algorithm, but it could bend the algorithm to maybe present it to more people. Because YouTube, as I know, you're a partner in the program too, Brian, YouTube, anything that gets eyes and gets viewership and gets ad revenue, YouTube will push it. YouTube doesn't push people that don't bring revenue to YouTube. That's why small content creators have such a hard time breaking through. They're not making YouTube any money. YouTube's going to prioritize the ones that get the views, that get the length of time watched, that get the ads. So if we could really blast it, 100,000 of us, or however many, would actually go on there and do it, and send them to YouTube or to Spotify, not Spotify, but Netflix. And what are some of the other streaming things? I know there's what's the one I have? It's NBC. It's kind of a Peacock. I have Peacock.
Yeah.
So there's other streaming things out there. I just I don't know. Yeah.
I'm still very hesitant on social media really going to be the thing that's going to work. And hey, I just got a ton of comments finally came in, so we get to see those. But I'm still hesitant because, like, for instance, on none of my social media do I ever see anything about criminal cases and lawyers and stuff like that, like, ever. I'm guessing there's probably tons of content out there about that stuff, but because I've never looked at it, never given the algorithm any reason to think that, I never see anything, ever, anything at all for it. And that's the problem with the social media. If you want to reach those people that have never talked about or inquired about nutrition, you got to find another way. They're not going to find it in social media. Let me see. There's a ton of comments that just came.
Yeah, I see it. And Brian, why are you looking at that? What about social media ads, like ads on YouTube, ads on Facebook, taking out ads on these things? What do you think about that? to try to get the. I mean, I'm just spitballing here. You know, I don't know if any of this will work. I'm just trying to think of everything I can to try to get this message in front of as many people as we can in a documentary that I think is going to show those stories that can get people to pay attention.
Yeah. Yeah, you can definitely try ads. I don't know if the only thing I don't know is, do they show ads for a certain type if you aren't looking at that type of content? That's the problem that I'm not sure on. But yeah, wow, there are a lot of comments here, and I'm going to try and just go through some of these. I missed some of what they're talking about. Something about, oh, Donna Ray was in Dr. Kill's newsletter a few weeks ago. Huh.
Oh, cool.
Cool. Okay. Okay.
Oh wow, yeah, a ton of comments. Just
yeah, Coach Edens was talking about her. That's the one thing that hasn't improved for her is her eyes. I know I saw some comments in here somewhere about the documentary thing, and I'm trying to find.
Ooh, Amazon Prime. I'm just reading through some of them.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
So Peter says the carnivore community is the best, full of terrific, open-minded, loving, and caring people. I'm so glad I finally met and found my people. I agree about the community. It's a great community. Look at this, John. I went from big swollen feet up to the knee, scared of amputation, to 50 push-ups, crazy, in only a year. There you go.
Yes.
I think Thomas was saying thank you, Johnny, when you're talking about his channel.
Absolutely.
Let's see. I know I saw something somewhere. Here we go. Rogan is censored. Also, Kennedy, they can only go halfway.
I believe that about Kennedy, but I think Rogan has a little more leeway because Rogan. I've seen people go on Rogan, actors and people that he's interacted with, and he recommends the carnivore diet to them. So I think he has a little more leeway because he told Spotify, "Go pound sand," you know, and he is the #1 podcaster on the planet, right? As far as I know, and so he has that leverage, if you will. Kennedy, I think Kennedy kind of has to walk a line because of the USDA and the farmers and the vegetable lobbyist, if you will. So I think Kennedy might be a little more hamstrung than Rogan is, but I don't believe Rogan is censored at all. And I'm not arguing with you, John. That's just my take because I have heard him talk about the carnivore diet to a guest he's had on his show and encouraging them just to try it. But I think to your point, Kennedy probably is a little bit. He probably has to be careful, parse his words because there's so many different interests, at the government level.
Yeah, I think that Joe has a lot of guests on that talk about controversial topics as well. But it's not like he's a be all and all. Like Paul says, I don't know Joe at all. There's people that don't watch Joe Rogan. There's people that don't like Joe Rogan at all, and they just don't watch it. So you still got to find all these different ways to market people, right?
Right. Yep.
Let's see. Steadfast says, for that matter, Kerry could just send at least the trailer to RFK Jr. Joe Rogan. Yeah, I agree.
Great point.
Even just the trailer. If Joe Rogan would even just talk about it for a couple minutes and have the trailer shown or something, that'd be really cool.
Yep.
I think. It's funny. I saw this comment come in, and all those other ones before didn't come in until like 10 minutes later. It was so weird.
Yeah, it's like they're dropping them in batches, it seems like.
Yeah. Coach Edens with Amazon Prime you were talking about and Netflix.
Yes. Great point.
Prime Video, YouTube, Amazon Prime. Yeah. Prime might actually be more popular now than Netflix. I wonder.
Right.
I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised if it is.
And Brian, I wonder if those are exclusive. Like if you go on Amazon Prime, will Netflix let you show it on there as well? Do you kind of have to pick a lane? Are we able to stream it on multiple? You know what I'm saying? Like they could have like exclusive rights to it. We don't want to show it on ours if you're going to show it on and this one over here, which, you know, that would be understandable, but I don't know.
Yeah. See, here's the point I was making about Netflix. Rick's like, I have never used Netflix. There's plenty of people out there that never have. So you got to find other ways.
Yeah, I've never used Netflix myself. I have it, and I've never used it.
Kitchen Witch is here, by the way.
Hey, Kitchen Witch.
Thanks for coming again this evening. Yeah. When I was looking for a documentary about nutrition, I went to Netflix. Netflix has done a lot of different documentaries about that. They've either way, really. I've seen stuff that was more just like low carb, and then I've seen stuff that was vegan type. So they do. Let's see. Thomas says that is hard to say. Many have Netflix or Amazon or even Apple, but they all cost, and there are many that can't afford it, can even watch it. Yeah, that's the thing. See, they were all commenting. She says we're speechless. They were all commenting. I just couldn't see it because my computer's acting up. I don't know what is going on with that.
And Brian, I don't know if it's because it's going through your feed, but the same thing happened on my end. I just got like a huge dump of comments all at one time. Like 15 minutes worth of comments just popped up.
So it must be a StreamYard thing, because I noticed too, they weren't showing up on the stage until all of a sudden they were there, and then they were showing up. Right. So yeah, I don't know. Jerry says, have Carrie Man go on the Greg Gutfeld show. I hate to say it. I don't know who that is. Do you?
No, yeah, absolutely. He's the number one. He's the number one guy on Fox News. He's the number one late night. He's on the show called The Five, which is on Fox News. Then he has a late night show called the Greg Gutfeld Show, and he's number one for that time slot in the country. And he, I don't know if he went carnivore, but he went low carb and completely turned his health around too. And he wasn't an out of shape guy, but he cut out bread, rice, pasta, and I think he just basically went low carb a couple of years ago. He quit smoking and then quit vaping. And so he's all into the low carb thing. I've never heard him say the word carnivore, but he's the number one nighttime guy.
Okay. And see, I wouldn't have known because I pretty much gave up on news. So I don't watch any news channels anymore for the most part. That's why I didn't know. Let's see. When babysitting, I go to Netflix and search for food and cooking shows.
Yep.
Bride's Biscuit is here. Hello.
Hey, Bride's
Good to see you again.
Yep.
This was back to the point I think you were making about getting everybody to share it. Yes, I think if we all share on all our social media, that would do a lot. That's a good point. That's a good point. So I was saying that, on social media, if I share something and you don't normally pay attention to nutrition stuff, you're not going to see that. But if you're a friend of mine and you see it and you get intrigued by it, you say, and you'd normally post other stuff and you now share that, other people that wouldn't have seen my post will see it off of theirs. So that does make sense. If you get enough of that sharing going on, you could reach other people. That's a good point.
I don't know where you're at, Brian, but Peter had a comment at 8:28 about kind of a little bit more about his transformation. You see that?
8:28.
Yeah.
That's way.
I went from 320 pounds.
Yeah, I went from 320, morbidly obese, diabetic, size 44 pants, to now 205 pounds. No more diabetes, no meds, size 34 pants. Haven't been in that size since I was 19, and I'm going to be 64 in June. Incredible transformation.
Now, who in America right now? Yeah, who in America right now, especially if they're over 40, over 45, that could see Peter's transformation, hear him talk about it, wouldn't be intrigued by that. You know what I'm saying? There's tens of thousands of Peters and Brians and Johnnies and you know, Thomas. There's so many of us out there, and this documentary is just a chance for, I don't know, 10 or 12 or 15 of these stories, documented stories, to get put in front of people. When I learned about the carnivore diet through Kerry, I have an affinity for Kerry, because if it hadn't been for him, I wouldn't be sitting here right now. I'd probably be dead or in a nursing home. Brian wouldn't be one of my best buddies, because we never would have met. I wouldn't be a huge fan of all you guys on here. The Kerry was the thing that got me. I just saw a video on YouTube that wasn't even related to carnivore. It was about homesteading, you know, and that's what led me to learn about Rick being a carnivore for 40 some odd years, but says, hey, this has got to be pretty safe. Rick's the most fit 57, 58-year-old man I've ever met in my life. So that's my affinity. So my thing is, I saw one video and it changed my life. And I think there's probably 50%, Brian, when you think about 40 to 50% of America out there that would love to turn their health and turn their life around. If they only knew that you don't have to subscribe to a GLP-1 or some crazy 10 hours a day in the gym. I mean, this is just too easy, and there's too much opportunity here not to do all we can to share this with as many people as we can. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Thomas says that you haven't been on his channel yet.
Yeah, so I got to get down there. I got a lot going on, Thomas. I'm going to school. I'm actually working on a new job at kind of a career change. I want to go to work inside the hospital instead of working outside the hospital. I'm going to work inside the hospital. So I'm taking classes. I had to take an online test today. We're packing up our house, getting ready to sell our house after 21 years. We're moving out of state. I got a million things going on, but I would love to come on your channel, and I will. I still have the email you sent me, Thomas, so I will be there. Just give me a little grace for right now. I've never been this busy in my life. It's a lot, but I'm having a good time.
Cynthia says, I didn't think Rogan was carnivore anymore, and he is not. She's right. He started eating carbs because he thought it affected his weight training. He does often say, though, that carnivore really works for weight loss, and I've even heard him say that, like, it's really good. It's just hard for me to stick with it. And then, of course, he always has to talk about the first couple of weeks being so bad because he had really bad issues with loose stools. But yeah, this is a good point, and we've talked about this before, even on here on the live stream. I don't know, a few weeks back. Good health would kill the economy. And yeah, we've talked about that before, right? Like, what is it going to do? And not just that, but think about, like, the pharmaceutical companies and that they don't want that to happen. So, I mean, some of it can be conspiracy theory type of stuff, but I think that they would be willing to go to drastic measures. So that's as
well,
much
they have been, Brian. They've been going to drastic measures for 40 years trying to keep this stuff down, right? I mean, we know all these studies, the Framingham study, all these studies have been squashed. They've been buried. They've been quote unquote debunked. We've had this data out there. This data has been out there for years. I mean, Dr. Atkins kind of got a movement going and had people changing their life, kind of more protein, but he was talking about low carb, and they made him out to be a quack, because our whole economy, if you look at how much money is in the insurance industry, when I say insurance, I mean health insurance, the diabetes industry, GLP-1s, the pharmaceuticals, blood pressure, how much money is made every day just in America on blood pressure pills. I took lisinopril, HCTZ, and atenolol for my blood pressure, and they kept upping the doses, and guess what? My blood pressure never got better. I went carnivore. I'm off all that meds. I take 0 medications. I went from 5 meds to 0. And if you do that in mass, that will have a ripple effect across the entire economy, because a lot of big companies invest in each other. So a lot of big companies invest their dollars into pharmaceutical companies, into medical companies, big insurance companies, big agricultural companies. And so if you put a huge ripple effect in that, it's going to affect everybody. But I don't think we're ever going to get to the point where everybody's going to get healthy. Everybody's going to do this. But if we can get 10% of the population to just change what they eat, get some more sunshine, eat some fermented foods, get out there, breathe and move and feel better, that could have a tremendous effect on the overall health of America and how much money we spend in Medicare, Medicaid, disability. When you go from stage 4 kidney failure, I guess when you go to complete kidney failure, automatically the government will pick up the cost of dialysis, because dialysis is extremely expensive. I know this because I went through it with my mom. She was having to pay for all her medications, but when they said she was in complete kidney failure, her kidneys no longer worked, then the government picked up the tab for all of her dialysis. She went Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. You either go Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or you go Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. It's ungodly expensive when we have millions and millions and millions of Americans going to dialysis centers 3 days a week. And you and I, the taxpayer, we're paying for that. These diabetic clinics, a lot of these people are on Medicare, Medicaid, some type of government assistance. Keep in mind, we're the government. That's our money. So if we could just affect 10% of the people, we could dramatically improve the overall health of our country, and we'd save the taxpayer a lot of money. That's my soapbox. And that's true. Fact check me. That is all true.
So Rick says he doesn't have any subscription services, and I bet you there's a lot of people that don't.
Right.
We only have Netflix, and to be honest, the only reason I think why we have Netflix is because we like Stranger Things. We like to watch that show, and the show's over now. So, although I think they're coming out with a cartoon this spring, but anyway, so that's the only thing I ever watch on Netflix. But there's probably a lot of people that don't have subscription services, so that's a good point. Holly, I think this was her first comment, so hello, Holly. Good to see you here.
Hey, Holly. Nice to see you.
The best way for it to be seen by the most people is one of the free streaming apps like Tubi. That's a good idea. But the documentary will not make money to cover expenses on a free streaming app. But still, that's a great idea. Maybe after your limited thing that you do with movie theaters and maybe a short time on Netflix or something like that, then you open it up to free streaming apps as well. So that's a good one.
Yeah.
CCC is here. I like to call him CCC. Calorie Counting Carnivore, who used to go by a different name. I can't remember the name anymore now. I get confused. But anyway, I call him CCC. So CCC says, "Hi everyone. Hope everyone's having a good night. I hope everybody is too. So good to see you here." Thomas responded back about his show. He's booked until July anyway. So there you go. I mean, like, Thomas is killing it right now, isn't he? He's got so many people lined up that's awesome. John says, "No carb life saved my life. Real people interviews every day."
Yep.
Anybody that knows me knows how much I love Dave Mack. He's one of the first people I really started paying attention to when I started to do the carnivore diet. I was just shortly after him getting started with the carnivore diet. And I've been on his channel multiple times. I've interviewed him for my channel as well. He's a great guy, and I love everything he does with the interviews. I think he's like over 1,600 now or something crazy, ridiculous.
I've been on his twice.
Thomas says, "I think with Baker's help, I think Rogan would have Carrie, even if he isn't carnivore. Carrie just needs someone to get Joe's attention toward Carrie in the movie." I agree. I definitely agree. What? This is a crazy stat, isn't it? Every other person is now in the United States now has diabetes. So that's like 50%.
1 out of 2.
Right? Yeah.
1 out of 2. That's exactly right.
Crazy.
And Brian, they always say pre-diabetic, oh, you're pre-diabetic. There's no such thing as pre-diabetic. You're either diabetic or you're not. It's like being pre-pregnant. You're either diabetic or you're not. They use these numbers 6.4, 6.3, or whatever on your hemoglobin A1C. But if you're pre-diabetic, I promise you're diabetic. But if you said pre-diabetic, it probably is. I think Peter's right. I think it's 1 out of 2 Americans is quote unquote pre-diabetic or full-blown diabetic. And it's just sugar toxicity, carbohydrate toxicity.
Thomas says that right now he has Paramount. I forgot about Paramount.
Right.
That comes with my Walmart membership. Okay.
Mhm.
Here we go. Camden Wise. That was his name before. Yes. Camden Wise, now CCC.
Yeah.
Spanky is here as well. I went to click and I missed. There you go. So hello, everybody.
Hey, Spanky Vulcan.
I agree with this. Carnivore is a good hobby, and getting healthy isn't a bad sidekick.
Exactly.
Talk about Dave Mack. Yes, Dave is great. Thomas has been on his channel a couple times, and he was on my channel. He says it's great. Bride's Biscuit has Netflix and Amazon Prime. That's cool. Free from.
So that's me. I have Netflix. Yeah, I have Netflix, Brian, because I have T-Mobile. My phone carrier is T-Mobile, and I automatically get Netflix for free. I have just never logged into Netflix. I have it; it's on my TV. It's just it's something that I have not taken the time to go on there and find any of the shows. But if you have T-Mobile, and a lot of people in America have T-Mobile, you automatically have Netflix with T-Mobile. It comes with it. So,
and I forgot we have Amazon Prime because my wife has Prime for shopping, you know. so we actually have Amazon Prime, and I forgot all about that. Believe me, I should be reminded every day that we have that. Anyway. This sounds interesting. If you can make a show out a bit and feature singers like Jelly Roll and Jimmy Levy, Ash Taylor, and Chris Cookie Nashville to headline the premiere, that would be phenomenal.
Great idea. Great idea.
Yes. Thomas is right. Whether it's pre, 2, 1, or 3, like dementia, it's all diabetic.
Yep. Hey, Brian, I have a quick story.
Yeah.
At the risk of giving out too much information, about a week ago, we picked up a patient from a local hospital and took this patient. I won't say if it's a male or female to try to protect HIPAA, but we took this patient to a memory care center because this patient has full-blown Alzheimer's, of course, diabetic, type 2, adult onset. He and I were born on the exact same. Well, that person and I were born on the exact same day. And I took that person to a memory care center with full-blown Alzheimer's. I'm seeing it younger and younger and younger. And in all my years of doing this, all my years of checking, I have never seen a person under, say, 80 years of age that has dementia that doesn't also have diabetes. It's 100%. Now, I'm just one person. Maybe there's people out there that have dementia that never had sugar regulation problems. I've just never seen them.
Yeah. And I knew this and I still messed up. I'm sorry. I know you're female. I knew that from before. And then I said him, didn't I?
Yeah,
so
sure did.
I apologize.
We had that conversation.
I'm sorry.
I think I asked her how old she was, and she said, "I'm a female. You can't ask me that." Remember that?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's my fault. I feel embarrassed now. John says Hulu gave me 6 months for $2.99 for 6 months and Paramount free on Walmart. That's cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know
there's
Paramount had a deal with Walmart.
Yeah.
Bride's Biscuit gets it from T-Mobile. So that is Netflix?
Netflix, yeah.
Netflix.
Yep.
That's a Netflix one. Okay. Bigger Runner has Prime. Bride's Biscuit cut the cable cord in 2008. Thomas had to go to a Zoom call. Thanks for being here while you were able to.
Thanks, Thomas.
Very nice. This is a good question. Is Jelly Roll carnivore? I don't know that he's carnivore. I know he lost a lot of weight, but I don't know how he did it. I seen that
exercise and counting calories. Yeah.
There you go.
I think I've watched some of his stuff. I'm a huge Jelly Roll fan. I think the predominant, and I don't know what his diet is. I don't know if he's ever even talked about that, but I do know he's talked about trying to eat X amount of calories a day and working out and running and trying to be active. So kind of the calories in, calories out method. So hopefully he'll have success with that. Hopefully he'll understand that carbohydrates are the enemy. But yeah, he does look, he looks like he's lost like 250 pounds, which is amazing.
Off topic, fat fasting on Fat Tuesday, just for the fun of it. So fat fasting is not really fasting, right? It's where you just eat fat, right?
Right.
So it's technically not fasting, but it's like when people say they're doing a sardine fast, they just eat sardines. So in this case, they're just eating fat.
Mm-hmm. To keep your blood sugar from your insulin levels very low. So you're still taking in calories, but you're trying to keep that insulin level very, very static there, you know.
I heard on one of the carnivore channels today, Dr. Chafee, that going carnivore can get rid of Alzheimer's. Oh, it was the interview where Anthony talked with a guy who owned 4 older age homes. Yeah, whether or not, I mean, it can completely get rid of it, I don't know, but there's definitely been case studies done, a documentation of people that have gone low carb carnivore and they've vastly improved their symptoms. Mm-hmm. So yes,
that doctor is Dr. David Diamond. He's out of Florida. Dr. David Diamond. I know his very first old age home that he bought. He and a business partner went in together, went down to Florida, and kind of bought a smaller nursing home or personal care home. And there was 4 or 5 patients in there. I hope I'm not messing this up. This is how I remember it. That had different levels of dementia. So they were in the memory care section where they had to keep the doors closed so these folks wouldn't wander out. He put them all on a very low carb carnivore or very strict keto, that type of diet nutrition plan, he calls it. And they all got better. And one of them is a lady. She's like 90 years old, and she volunteers there as the secretary. And she was one of the Alzheimer's patients there. Dr. David Diamond is that. You can look up on that.
And I think we might be caught up on comments, or they just stopped showing up again, something like that. Yeah.
We'll get another tranche up here in 20 minutes.
Yeah, we'll find out. Yeah, exactly. But this has been a great topic. We've had a lot of good discussion tonight on this. Bacon Runner says they gave up cable a couple years ago. Bride's Biscuit said time back and savings were a godsend. Yeah. I have cable, but I never really watch TV. Like, not very often. I have like one show I like to watch when it's on. And I watch sports. That's it. I don't really watch any other TV. I just don't watch a lot of TV. So yeah, I don't know. I could be unusual. I don't know, but I don't know that I am.
I don't have the traditional cable vision. I just have, both of my TVs are smart TVs, so I'm able to stream stuff online. But TV is not like it used to be. Used to on Tuesday night at 8 o'clock, you knew what was coming on NBC or CBS. I don't think they even do that anymore. So you have to find something to stream, and the streaming services, some like I have Netflix. It doesn't cost me anything, but I can watch it on my phone or any of my devices. But yeah, the traditional cable where the cable guy would come out there and hook up, I got rid of that years ago. It got to be where I was paying $200 a month and I wasn't watching any of it. I said, this is ludicrous. So we got rid of the cable, but we do have the streaming service. And I think all in I'm paying, because I have, I have Peacock that I pay for, and Friendly TV. I think I pay about $200 a year for both of those, which is a whole lot better than $200 a month for something that I never watched.
Yeah, I'm not seeing any new comments, so I think we're in one of those laws where the comments just aren't coming in.
Sure.
I think, one thing that really hurt a lot of the local, like NBC, ABC, stuff like that, was at one point they kind of went away from that programming that you were talking about, like what used to be on, and went to all this, what's it called? Reality TV, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I think that kind of killed them. I don't know, because I don't watch it, so I don't know if they're bringing shows back now instead of reality TV. But when they did that, I think that they really kind of killed themselves when they did that.
Yeah, because it wasn't true reality TV. It was scripted TV made to look like a reality. All these people, when the shows ended, they would come out and write a book or do a, thing. So this was all scripted. This wasn't real. And, it was almost like watching wrestling on TV every night. But I can remember when my older kids were younger, when, my oldest kids who are now 40 years old, when they were younger, on Tuesday night, we watched Steve Urkel. On Friday night, we watched, TGIF. We watched every night of the week. We had very specific shows on very specific networks that we watched. It was you watched the whole season and then you watched the reruns until the next season started. That was just how we did it. Now, I don't know if that even exists. Everybody just streams what you want to stream. Of course, when I was little, Brian, when you were little, we'd get up on Saturday morning and watch Saturday morning cartoons, right? That was the thing. And now cartoons are, 24/7 on the Cartoon Network or whatever, or the Disney Channel.
Well, also like because of like Netflix and stuff like that, like you can just watch an entire season at once. Yeah. So people do that, right? Binge instead of the way it used to be where you watched a show and then next week you saw the next episode and stuff. That's all pretty much gone now. And then, everybody's got social media and stuff too. So there's a lot of people I think aren't watching TV like they used to.
Yeah.
I just got a dump of comments again. Let's see where we're at. Oh yeah, so that's about the fat fasting. Wasn't really fasting, was just eating fat. Yeah, she said not really fasting. Cynthia has beef fat ready to go for Fat Tuesday. So is that a thing then, that we just eat fat on Fat Tuesday? I never even thought about that. And I hate to say this, but when is Fat Tuesday? It's got to be coming up, right? It's like the start of Mardi Gras or something, right?
I think so. That'd be an easy one for me, Brian, because I'll just eat a couple sticks of butter over the course of the day because I love butter. I eat a lot of Kerrygold salted butter, a lot of it. Probably too much, but I love it.
Oh, this is pretty cool. Carnivore Jerry is going to be 65 next Wednesday. Congratulations. Bride's Biscuit says Dr. Berry did a video about that today, referencing a study in RFK, quoting it in the news. That's cool. Very cool. A lot of people saying happy birthday to Carnivore Jerry.
Yeah, happy birthday, Jerry. Brian, I won't be here next Wednesday. We haven't talked about it yet. I won't be here next Wednesday. Real quick, my wife and I are getting ready to start building a new house down in South Carolina where we're moving to. And as luck would have it, this brand new subdivision that's being built out, the builder had built several spec houses. And my brother came over and looked at one, had been on the market for longer than the builder wanted it to be on the market. So he marked the price down and my brother bought it. So my brother's going to be living right behind me. So next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, which are my days off, we're going down to Georgia and we're going to move my brother into his new house. So I won't be here next week. So happy birthday, Jerry. I won't be here to say happy birthday next week, but I hope you have a great birthday. Brian, I think is going to maybe get a fill-in guest. Somebody would sit on this side and work with Brian on the show next week. But I'll be taking a week off to go help my brother move.
Yeah, I think I've got somebody in place, but I don't want to announce it until it's official. But I think I got somebody for next Wednesday, so we'll be good there. Mardi Gras ends on Fat Tuesday, so there you go with that. Yeah. So Paul, so what did you all think of Serena Williams on Super Bowl ad for GLP-1? I've seen her ads for GLP-1 before. I didn't see the Super Bowl one. I'm assuming it's maybe the same ones. I don't know. You can just do carnivore. That's all I gotta say. You can just do carnivore.
Yeah, exactly. It's a whole lot. People say, we've talked about this, Brian. We had a show topic 3 or 4 weeks ago about is carnivore too expensive? Well, I've never taken a GLP-1, but my understanding is even with copays, those GLP-1s are very expensive. And Serena Williams obviously got money and she's sponsored, so she don't pay for it anyway. But I think there are people out there that would like to do GLP-1s that don't have the financial resources to do it. They could just do carnivore. They could just do carnivore and be a whole lot cheaper.
Some of the insurance companies that used to cover it are not covering it anymore either. So that's a
Yeah.
problem, unless it's for specifically for diabetes. If it's just for weight loss, they're not covering it. So yeah.
And I've seen some reporting out there. I don't know if this is true or not. I mean, you can fact check me on this, but I have some reporting that some of these GLP-1s, they're starting to see a possible connection between eyesight problems and GLP-1 usage. I don't know that to be true at all, but I've seen that in multiple places. So they may be looking into that. So yeah. That's not there's no side effects of carnivore other than maybe the stomach issues that first week or two, and then this inability to stop talking.
John says, I'm too old to understand social media. You know what? I use social media, but I don't understand half of it either, especially Instagram. I don't get that one. Like, it's weird too, because like I don't know the etiquette necessarily. Like, people will follow me on Instagram and I'm like, okay, I just figure I should follow them back, but then I get this message for half of them, like they have private settings or something and they have to approve you, and it's like, well, I don't want them to necessarily approve me. I was just doing it because they were following me. Like, should I have not done that? I don't know. So I'm kind of the same way. I don't get all of it. And like my kids laugh at me sometimes, like with, they use, what's that? Oh, what is that one? No, there's something that they use where they send messages every day and it's like streaks and stuff. I don't get that one at all. I can't remember what it is.
Is it Snapchat or something?
I think it is. I think it's Snapchat. Yeah. They do like streaks. I remember when a couple of my kids were younger, sometimes it'd be like, oh my gosh, it's the end of the day. I got to get my streaks in before my streaks get snapped. Like I got like 400 days streaks with people. I'm like, okay, I don't get that.
Yeah.
I'm too old for that stuff.
I tried Instagram. I have an X account. I don't know how, I can't figure it out. Even on X, everybody uses X, formerly Twitter. I must just be stupid. I can't figure it out. I can't, there's people that I follow on there, but when it's that complex, I just give up. I don't have the bandwidth to try to figure that stuff out. Instagram was a nightmare. I do have an Instagram page. I have no idea how to use it. The Carnivore Kip and I would go back and forth a little bit on Instagram back in the day, and that was about all I could manage, and I finally gave it up. So just YouTube. I'm very active on Facebook because it's user friendly for an old guy like me. But other than that, then just this really.
Gary says, oh, and by the way, hello, Gary. I think that was your first message, first comment. Haven't used TV, newspaper, radio for 15 years. Just use YouTube.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Which that's a great point.
And I just got a dump of comments again.
Yeah. My wife and I, aside from a couple of shows we watch on, there's a show that comes on Sunday night. It's called When Calls the Heart. It's based in the early 1900s from this Canadian town. It's a really cool show. This is the 10th or 11th season. We've watched every episode. So that's why we have Friendly TV. It's on the Hallmark channel. So you can get Hallmark through Friendly. But other than that, I would say 98 to 99% of the viewing that my wife and I do is YouTube. I mean, we never watch TV. Like, I didn't watch any of the Super Bowl, not even 2 seconds of it. I didn't know how to get to it. And we just watched YouTube. I watched Brian's content and Peter's content and Amy's content and Thomas's content. There's plenty of stuff to watch on YouTube. I don't even need, any of those other channels out there.
Yeah. CCC says, I've heard of people going permanently blind in one or both eyes. I'm talking about from the GLP-1s. Yeah. I've heard that kind of stuff too. There's definitely some people have side effects. I've heard that it's maybe just a small portion of people, but still it's definitely something that can happen. John says, it's nice to hear and chat about carnivore. If I try talking with neighbors or regular people, I feel like I'm talking Greek or I look like an alien. I definitely hear you on that one. Yep. It's funny because I went into the office yesterday and we had this meeting that I had to go to, and it was in the afternoon, so it was like 2 o'clock. But they had like snacks and stuff like that there, right? So they had like bags of chips and cookies and just all junk food, right? And everybody, of course, was grabbing stuff. I was not. And someone was like, "Are you gonna have anything, Brian?" I'm like, "No, I'm actually not eating today. No, no thanks, whatever." And they you say stuff like that, and they look at you like, "What?" And I'm like, "Well, I mean, I ate yesterday evening was the last time I ate, and I'm just not hungry." And they're like, "What are you talking about? Like, there's no way. How can you not eat a cookie?" And it's like I don't even want to get into the whole carnivore thing. It's like, some people from work know that I do carnivore and stuff, but most people don't because it's just a hassle talking to people about it. Steadfast says yes, it is Snapchat, so that is what I was talking about with the streaks. Paul does 0 social media. Is too difficult to use, he says. I agree. It can be very confusing. Streaks used to be a whole different thing back in my day. Yeah.
Boogity, 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 boogity.
I got a $6 flip phone from Tello. It must be a cell phone company, I guess, right? And I never answered the phone. Credit cards make me do all government stuff. Yes. Yes. And I think I might be caught up, but I'm not sure because it's a couple minutes. The last one was posted 9:19. It's 9:21, so I don't know if I'm caught up. I might see more comments eventually. Who knows? But oh well.
I'll see.
This is a big
Cynthia's got
conversation
one on here. I'll just read it. Cynthia said she's referring to somebody else. She goes, "You have a live at Carnivore Gen?" ? I just celebrated my 65th birthday a couple weeks ago. So happy birthday, Cynthia. I don't know if we were able to wish you happy birthday on your birthday, but happy 65th birthday to you.
Yeah, I don't know where that was. I missed it.
9:11 p.m. I don't know if you see it. It's on Cynthia at 9:11 p.m.
Okay, that's it. There we go.
Yeah.
You have, I just saw my 65th. Yes. Yeah. So congratulations, Aaron, and happy birthday and all that stuff, Cynthia. Yeah, I'm not getting anything new, so I think it's like locked up again. I don't know why it keeps doing this. I might have to.
Bride's Biscuit talked about getting the
StreamYard.
Bride's Biscuit. In one of the comments, we may have just overlooked it. It was from 912, talking about TV Guide. Remember TV Guide, the magazine?
Oh yeah, I do. Where is
Back in the day, you get the TV Guide. That was pretty cool. Yeah.
Oh, here we go. I used to love getting the fall Saturday morning TV Guide preview in the summer and get excited when the shows would come on Saturday mornings in September.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I have a quick question for the audience. Did anybody in our audience see the documentary? I think it was called Animal. Dr. Baker was on there. I think Dr. Chafee was on there. I know Dr. Kiltz was on there. It was about an hour documentary, and I think it was on. I had to pay something to watch it. It was on one of the streaming services, and I didn't have it, but I paid the money to watch it, and then I canceled the subscription. But it was talking about obviously the carnivore diet, and there was a couple of, I think, ladies on there that gave their testimonials, but it was really a kind of a scientific look at the carnivore diet. How many people saw that documentary Animal? If you did, put a yes in the chat if you were able to see the last documentary Animal. And if not, if you get a chance, you want to look it up, I'm sure we can Google it or something and see how you can watch it. It was actually pretty good, but it was very highbrow, kind of sciencey, talking more about the science and how your body uses different nutrients and bioavailability and stuff like that. But put a yes in the comment if you were able to watch that most recent carnivore documentary, if you guys will, if we get the comments to work.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say that, like, let's just hope the comments start showing up again, because it's been 5 minutes since I've seen comments. Like, I don't know what's going on. It's got to be a StreamYard thing.
Yeah.
It's weird. Oh, but while we're waiting to see if there's any more comments, also, if you haven't already done so, hit the like button and share this video with your friends. If it's a good way, we talked about the Healing Humanity documentary. It's a good way to start getting it out to some of our friends, because I did also put, and I'll put the banner up again, at Healing Humanity Movie. That's the actual official YouTube channel for it. And yeah, even after we're done with our live stream, people can rewatch this at any time and get to hear about the Healing Humanity movie. So definitely like and share with your friends and family and so forth.
And you can share this on your other social media comments. Those, like me, I'll take and share this on my Facebook. I just click on the URL, whatever, I click share, and I'll post this to my to my Facebook page, and invite my friends on Facebook to take a look at the live stream. So you can always do that too. And even if our comments don't mess up, I can go back, look later, and see how many people put yes, if anybody was able to see that documentary. And if not, Brian, if you don't mind, I'm gonna Google that real quick and see if it's still available. And if so, how can they watch it? Because I think it cost me like $10. Well, I don't remember how I did it, but it was a documentary called Animal. I'm just gonna Google it real quick. Pardon me while I look away.
No problem. And I'm trying to see if there's like a refresh or something. It just doesn't make sense. Yeah. It doesn't make sense that for some reason we're just losing comments.
One is a nature series on Netflix from 2021, narrated by actors like Bryan Cranston. The other, from 2025, explores the
I don't think that's the right one. There you go. Yeah. That's the right one.
Yeah, oh. Anyway, so it's it's called Animal, and it's by it's talking about the carnivore diet. It says, "Is the carnivore diet a cure-all?" It's called Animal. You are what you eat. Zane Griggs was the author of it. I'm not seeing how to access it. There is a trailer on YouTube that you can watch.
Okay.
And some of our favorite doctors were on there. Chafee, Dr. Berry, Dr. Sean Baker, Eddie Abu, Steak and Butter Gal. So Bella was on there. Dr. Eric Berg, Dr. Robert CYWES. Cywes. How do you say that, Brian?
Cywes?
Yeah. Dr. Kiltz, Sandy Norton, Dr. Wiedemann. Lisa, she's a friend of mine. Dr. Wiedemann's actually a friend of mine. She's an ophthalmologist. She's an eye surgeon. And she was on there. Zane Griggs. Anyway, let's see here.
Okay.
Okay,
so this is funny. So we're still getting nothing showing up in StreamYard, but I just went onto my stream on YouTube, and I'm seeing a ton of comments in here. So I'm going to try and look and see what we got. Oh gosh. Where are we at? Oh, come on. What is going on? I know I just saw okay. So we saw that thing. Okay. Bride's Biscuit said, why does my screen keep changing? Bride's Biscuit said, where is it? Nobody in real life knows I do carnivore other than my immediate family, and that's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
All right. Cynthia's talking about streaking the local donut shop. That's we'll leave it at that. Carnivore Jerry says, I saw Animal on Amazon.
Yeah, that's where it was. It was Amazon.
Buyer rent that. Yes. CCC said, I saw Carnivore. I don't think I had to pay anything, so I may not have seen the whole thing. Okay. John Golf said he has not seen it. Steadfast, yes, I purchased it and couldn't figure out how to share, and now he's gone rogue. Maybe I missed the first part of that comment. I don't know.
Yeah.
It
Maybe the
wasn't
author.
inspiring. Oh, maybe. It wasn't inspiring like Healing Humanity will be.
Right.
Not seen in a search on Amazon.
Anyway, you guys can mess around, Google it, see if you can find it out there. I think I did. I think it was Amazon Prime. I think I forgot that my wife was a member of Amazon Prime, so I joined Amazon Prime, watched it, and then canceled the membership. That's why it cost me like $10, whatever. If I would have been, using my brain, I would have realized my wife is a member of Amazon Prime, and I just would have watched it on her password or whatever. But it was not a great inspiring video as far as like the documented stories. There was a couple good ones on there. Bella obviously gave her testimonial on there, but it was kind of gave the science of why it works, how it works, and why it works, and why it worked 100,000 years ago or 20,000 years ago. It's ancestral appropriate diets, what we're supposed to eat before Pop-Tarts and Rice Krispie treats became a thing.
And of course, after I started reading the comments from my stream, now, but my channel, with the stream on my channel, if I can talk right, now they're showing up here again in StreamYard. So I don't know what's going on there. It's so weird. Mr. Snob Zane Griggs narrated Animal, and yes, he is a relative of my husband. Interesting.
Wow. Yeah.
DC Wisconsin doesn't see it on Roku search. Okay. All right. Well, we are at an hour and a half, which is where we typically like to break it up. Hour and a half is a long time, really. And,
it is.
Really don't want to go too much longer. So, Johnny's going to be away next Wednesday. I will be here next Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern time, 7 p.m. Central time. I should have a guest with me. So I'm not just talking to myself, because that'll be boring for you to just see me talking to myself. But anyway, so I'll be on, and then the following Wednesday, Johnny and I will be back again. So thank you, everybody. This has been a great discussion tonight. Johnny, any last words before we drop off?
No, just thank everybody for joining us. The comments was great. The interaction was great. Our show continues to build momentum as we head into the spring and the summer. I can't wait for the warmer weather to get outside and do more. My channel's been a little sloppy lately. I did a video today that was 7 minutes long, unedited, and it was just really talking about tonight, if you will, what we did tonight. So bear with me. My channel will be a little more entertaining once I get through some of this moving stuff and the weather cooperates. I will announce right here now that the snow in my front yard is finally gone. All of it melted today. I've had snow in my yard, and my driveway's been covered in snow and ice for 3 weeks. So anyway, hopefully I'll have some more outdoor stuff and some more exercise content on my channel in a couple of weeks. I don't think I'll put out anything next week because I'll be in Georgia helping my brother move. But Brian, hope you have a great show next week. You guys, if you get a chance, check out, I guess, Jerry's channel. She'll do the warm-up at 7 p.m. Eastern for her birthday, her 65th birthday. And then check Brian and his special guest out at 8 o'clock. And I will miss you guys, but I'll be back in 2 weeks. And thank you so much.
All right. And I wish that our snow and ice would melt too. It's been 50 here the last 2 days, and it's still here. It's not very little has melted, just a little bit. But oh well. Eventually, baby steps, right? Maybe.
Baby steps.
All right. Goodbye, everybody. See you next week if I can get my hand in the camera.